Hey guys, it's Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing the 6-month update of Theo. He is already 6 months, which is crazy. But if you're interested in hearing all of the milestones, you know, what he's been up to, his favorite things, all of it, then keep watching. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, let's get into it. The night before he turned 6 months, I just cried to Adam. I cannot believe it's already been 6 months. It is just so sad to me that he's getting so big so fast. It is flying by. Everyone says that it flies by, and I was prepared for that, but it has gone so much faster than I ever thought it would, and I have enjoyed it so much more than I thought I would. So yeah, I'm a little sad that he's already 6 months old. He is sleeping right now. I'm actually gonna turn this down since I'm watching him so that you don't have to listen to his white noise. I guess first let's talk about some of the skills that he has picked up. So he is laughing. He's been like giggling since, I wanna say, the day he turned 4 months. I got him to giggle for the first time. And so that's really cool. He smiles socially. Anytime I get him up from a nap or something, he just smiles at me, and it just like melts my heart. But even if he sees somebody familiar, like when Adam gets home from work, he'll smile at Adam. If my mom comes over to watch him, she'll walk in and he'll smile at her. So it is just the cutest thing. But if he's comfortable with you, he just smiles at you, and yeah, so cute. He is rolling everywhere. We put the tree up, so he loves trees. Every time we go for a walk, he's just like mesmerized by the trees. Even if we're in the car and he's looking out the window, he loves looking at the trees. And so I thought that he'd be really excited about getting our Christmas tree, and he rolled right under it and was just staring at it when we first got it. It was really cute, but he is just rolling everywhere. So he rolls both ways and has been for a while now. And he's definitely becoming more mobile than he was before. Before, I could just kind of set him down on his playmat and then he would just stay there and bat at the toys and call it a day. Now he will just roll right over and end up like wedged against the TV stand or in between the couch and the coffee table. Like, he just always finds his way somewhere. And he's always also starting this thing where he's like inchworming himself places. So I think that he is getting ready to move. He's definitely like getting antsy. He doesn't like to sit in one spot, and even just his places, like his little seats that we have, he's basically over them, or he'll sit in it for like 5 minutes and then be like, okay, I want to move. So he's definitely becoming much more mobile than he was a few months ago. He's also grabbing for things that are out of reach and then like realizing that they're out of reach and trying to get to them, which is a new thing. Before, he would just like bat at things, but now he will grab things, will shake the toys on his playmat, and he'll also grab for things that are out of reach. He's not quite sitting up on his own yet. If you're holding him on his lap, he will push off and kind of stand, obviously with assistance, but he loves to stand up. And he's not quite sitting on his own yet. I can sit him up and then he'll just like topple over. We can prop him on the couch and he'll stay sitting for a few minutes, and then eventually he'll like move himself and then fall over. It's adorable, but yeah, he's not quite sitting on his own. He's got really good head control though, and he loves being on his belly and just like looking around at everything. So it's basically like the only thing on the mat sometimes is his belly. Like, his entire chest and arms and legs are all off of the mat, and he's like looking around like doing Supermans. It's hilarious. In general though, his strength and head control and all of that is so much higher than it was even like a month ago. And now that he has really good head control, I wore him facing out in his carrier when we went to go get our Christmas tree for the first time, and that was fun for him, I think, because sometimes in his carrier he would get fussy because he couldn't see anything, but now he could see everything. So he was just hanging out like completely content, just walking around with us and looking around at everything. So I think that now that he's a little bit more mobile, and the same thing with the stroller, he doesn't have to be in the bassinet anymore. He sits in the chair and he can look around at everything. He's definitely more content, and he's so much more interested and like just happy being out, while being able to look around and take in his surroundings. I want to talk about the schedule just because we've tried a few different things and I don't know, certain things have worked and certain things have not worked, obviously. When he was born, I bought the Taking Care of Babies class, which I think goes from 4 weeks to 12 weeks. And we tried it and it was fine. Like, definitely some of the things that she talks about worked for us. And we were just kind of following his cues and all of that. And then we hit the 4-month sleep regression and yeah, all bets were off. So I actually bought the book, The Contented Little Baby. I have it right here because it literally sits under our coffee table because I reference it all the time. So one of my good friends did this book with her kids and they are the best sleepers out of all of the kids that I know. And she said that the only thing she follows in here is the actual schedule. There's a lot of stuff in here that I don't agree with, that I have personally heard is not safe, but I have been following the schedule. So they have sections, like every chapter. This is not a book that you have to read front to back, which I was concerned about because I was like, I don't have time to read this whole book to figure it out. But there's different chapters. So chapter 11 is months 3 to 4, and then it'll give you the schedule for what the baby should be doing at 3 to 4 months. So we are transitioning right now to the 6, I think it's 6 to 9 months. Yeah. But we were doing the 4 to 6 months. We started this right around like 4.5 months. And because we started it later than like obviously when he was born, or like even 4 or 6 weeks old, it took him longer to catch on, and the first little bit was awful. But now I feel like we're on a pretty good schedule. We're transitioning out of the 4 to 6 and we're going into the 6 to 9. It tells you what time to feed them, what time their nap times should be, like the daily amount of sleep. So for 4 to 6 months, it says maximum daily sleep is 3 hours, and it tells you what time they should be up, feeding, naps, the whole deal. And that was just so helpful for us. And then it goes through the entire routine. The actual schedule at the beginning is so helpful. They help you troubleshoot it. Anyway, that is the schedule that we are following, and the 4-month sleep regression hit us hard. It was so terrible. He was waking up like every hour, inconsolable. It was just terrible. And then we finally got out of it. It took probably a month, maybe a little bit longer to get through that. And then we got right back on a really good schedule, and he was sleeping. I would put him down, he would sleep until I woke him up to feed him, and then he would sleep again until like 6:30 or 7. And now the past couple of days, because he got his 6-month shots, he has been waking up and not very happy in the middle of the night, which has been rough again. But hopefully that is just because he hasn't been feeling well, and in a couple days he'll be totally fine. I feel like my lighting is weird because the window is over here, so I feel like this side of my face is really dark, but I wanted to be in front of the tree. I'm gonna see if I can move a little bit. Well, now I regret not facing this way the whole time, but I'm not redoing it, so it is what it is. We did transition him from the bassinet next to our bed to the pack and play next to our bed because he outgrew his bassinet at like maybe 5 months-ish. And so we ended up putting the pack and play up there, and now we are planning on moving him into his own room now that he's 6 months. That was kind of the plan. But Adam gets up before Theo would wake up, and the bathroom shares a wall with his nursery, and we have been putting a bathroom upstairs. If you've been here for a while, it's been this like whole thing. Anyway, the bathroom shower glass just needs to be put back in. Adam put it in, and then there was an issue with it, so then he took the door back off, and now we need to get the door back up so that he can shower and get ready upstairs so that he's not interrupting Theo. So that is the deal with that. As soon as it's done, Theo will transition into his room in his crib, and he does take all of his naps during the day in his crib down here. So I'm hopeful that the transition into his crib for nighttime will be smooth. I've heard a lot of people say that they sleep a lot better, and I have noticed that when Adam's alarm goes off in the morning, or even when he gets up or comes up to say bye and kiss me, Theo wakes up. He's definitely sleeping really light at that point in the morning, so I think maybe he would sleep better in his crib, but I'm so sad about him not being up there with us. Maybe that's crazy. I think a lot of people like can't wait to have their room back and not have their baby up there, but I'm just sad about it. Like I just feel like it's so much more convenient if he's upset to just roll over instead of having to get out of bed and the whole deal. So anyway, our plan is to transition him. It'll probably happen sooner rather than later. As far as eating goes, I am still breastfeeding. I was not even sure that I wanted to in the first place. So I'm actually kind of surprised that I ended up doing it, sticking with it, and then actually really enjoying it. So it's been 6 months now. I'm planning on going for a year. We'll see what happens at that point. Hopefully I am able to, and I continue producing enough milk to be able to, but right now it's going really well. We are starting to introduce solids. We are planning on doing it baby-led weaning, but we've tried a couple of things so far and he was just not into it. So I think I might do purees. He's really interested if I'm drinking something, he wants the straw, or if I'm eating something, he's like grabbing at my hands. So he shows interest in food, just not if I give him the food. So I'm thinking that maybe we'll try purees and mix in some breast milk with it, so then it would have a more familiar taste, and then transition into baby-led weaning. I'm not going to be strict about it one way or another. I know that he is perfectly fine just having milk for the first year. So my pediatrician encouraged me, there's no pressure on starting food. And she said that a lot of babies, one day it'll just click and then they're into eating. And a lot of them just need more time and are not into it. So I feel no pressure about him being into eating or wanting to or not wanting to. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to continue to offer it. And if he wants it, great. If he doesn't, oh well. Let's talk about a postpartum update. I feel like at 6 months, a lot of people just assume that life is back to normal at 6 months postpartum, and I don't feel like that's the case. So I do just want to touch on a couple of things. So I did have a C-section. Theo was breech, and so I did have a C-section. And I am still numb, basically from my belly button down to my incision. A little bit lower than my incision is either numb or tingly. And I'll hold Theo and he'll be standing up, jumping, and sometimes he'll hit that area, and it's so irritating feeling. My doctor said that at a year postpartum, whatever feeling I have or don't have is what I will be left with forever, most likely. So that is not great. I do think that I will have some numbness probably forever. And I definitely have gotten more feeling back than I had before, but a lot of the area is very tingly. I try to like massage the skin, just trying to like get the nerve endings reactivated, because it is possible to get feeling back, but it's something you do have to work at if it's not naturally happening. So I've been trying to do that a lot, and I've definitely gotten a lot more feeling back, but I have a long way to go. So I'm not really sure how much I will have back in the end. I'm halfway to a year, so I guess we'll see in like 6 months where I'm at. And then as far as my incision goes, my incision actually opened back up at 3 months postpartum, which shocked me. I was not prepared for it, but it was just a superficial opening, and they said just, you know, put a band-aid on it. As long as it's smaller than the size of a dime, then it's okay. So I did just, you know, put a band-aid on it and let it heal itself. But they did say that if it got worse or if it got bigger, then it could be an internal situation, and if it wasn't closed internally, I'd obviously have issues. So it was just an external, like superficial opening, but it still just felt weird that at 3 months postpartum I still had spots that were not healed. My incision now is completely healed. I do still have a scar. It's very, very obvious. I want to start, I've seen those like scar strips. I was thinking about getting some of those and seeing if I can get the scar to go away a little bit. And I also have, if you haven't heard of it, people have called it the C-section shelf or the C shelf. And basically it's because you have 3 incisions. You have your skin incision, which is a horizontal line, and then when they cut through your abdominal wall, they cut vertically, like through, like between the ab muscles, so it doesn't mess up your abs, and then they cut horizontally again into your uterus. So you have 3 incisions, and when you have a baby bump, they're all in the same spot, and then the baby comes out and all of those incisions don't line up again. So you have a lot of different incisions and stuff in different areas inside of your body. And then as they heal, you get scar tissue, and it's just a whole thing. So I can feel all of the scar tissue, and basically like from my profile, I go up and there's my incision, and then after my incision, I have the pooch. And it's just like straight up and then pooch. It's so annoying. And I think that even if I lost all of my postpartum weight, I don't think that I will be able to lose that. I think that that's just gonna be something that's there, which I'm not very happy about. And speaking of postpartum weight, I definitely am not even anywhere close to my pre-pregnancy weight. I have been working out and I am really consciously trying to eat clean. I don't know if I'm holding on to weight because of nursing, which I've heard mixed things. Some people, all the weight falls off from nursing. Some people, all the weight stays on until they're done nursing. I don't know if that's part of it. I don't know if it's because I am still on, I'm taking a medication for anxiety and depression, which I started taking when I was pregnant. I'm still on that, and I don't know if that's making me hold on to weight. I have no idea, but it's really frustrating. It's not a great feeling, and it's hard to not be self-conscious when you see other people. And actually, I just had this conversation with my mom the other day about the quote, "Comparison is the thief of joy." It is my favorite quote of all time. And it's so true, but it's really, really hard not to compare yourself to people who get right back to their pre-pregnancy weight within weeks or like a month or something. And then I'm 6 months postpartum and I'm still much bigger than I was pre-pregnancy. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to be active. I'm trying to eat healthy. And I am also trying to be patient. So I'm hoping that I will be able to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight in the near future, but we will see. Theo just got up from his morning nap, but this is 6 months. Oh, I didn't tell you how much he weighs and how long he is. He just had a 6-month appointment. Let me pull up what his weight was and everything. How much did you weigh? So when he was born, he was 19.3 inches and he's now 26.8 inches. His weight, he was 8 pounds and 4.8 ounces, and now he is 15 pounds and 12.6 ounces. He lost a lot of weight when he was born, and then it took a while to gain it back. To get back to his birth weight, it was 18 days. So, and then he dropped down on the percentile for a while there, and he is now making it back up. So yeah, 15 pounds and 12 ounces and almost 27 inches. And I also asked the doctor about his eyes because he has very, very blue eyes right now, which my mom and sister both have blue eyes. Blue eyes definitely run on my side of the family. I have green eyes and my dad has green eyes, and then my mom and sister are blue, but Adam has brown eyes, and basically his entire family either has brown or hazel. And so I really thought that his eyes would be brown, but they're like blue, blue, blue. And so I asked the pediatrician at 4 months, and she said that she thought they'd stay blue. And then I wasn't sure if she meant they would stay colored but maybe turn green because mine were, or if they would actually stay blue. And she said that because he doesn't have any brown flecks in his eyes, they would definitely stay light and be colored. I guess when they're gonna change to be dark, you can see the little flecks in their eyes earlier on. But she said since they are so blue, she thinks that they might get a little bit more green, but he will have blue eyes. Can you look at that baby? Can you show them your eyes? Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Is that your grumpy face? Is that your grumpy face? Anyway, this is 6 months with my tiny little bestie. Last thing, for real this time, last thing. His hair, he has so much fuzz now. When he was born, he didn't have a ton of hair, and I mean, he still doesn't have a ton of hair compared to a lot of babies, but his fuzz is definitely growing in now. Can you show them all your hair? Huh? Alrighty guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys. Can you say bye? Can you say bye guys? Bye bye.